Listen. Yeah.
She set this up in advance. We're gonna get copyright got for this vlog.
That was Magic Sword in the Face of Evil from the second Thor Ragnarok trailer.
Dun, dun, dun. Is it on the soundtrack?
No, it was just used in the trailer.
I'm curled up in a blanket because it's cold.
And
I'm still a wee bit sick, so.
I'm a construction worker now.
She came into the room like, why are you wearing a high-vis vest? I didn't even know you had one of those.
And I was like, I was looking for my Viking helmet, but I couldn't find it. Couldn't find a Viking helmet. It makes sense.
It does, though, actually. Like, oh, the weirdest bit. Oh, no, you ruined it. Oh, no, it's fine.
I was looking for the Viking helmet in the Minion clothing section, but...
She actually does have a Minion clothing section.
Several bags full of stuff. So I stole this instead.
Asgard crossing guard.
Yeah. As crossing guard.
So we saw Thor Ragnarok, if you didn't already know. So we'll do the spoilers-free version first.
Yes.
It was fantastic. Literally, I got everything that I expected. I expected just crazy, fun, half fantasy, half sci-fi crap, and that's exactly what we got.
The film perfectly translates the trailer into film. It's not like a lying trailer.
Like that cat lying.
There's some trailers, like Iron Man 3 was very, very light and frothy and silly, but the trailers were really dark.
Yeah. This
one is as silly as it appears. This one, they're not...
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm not saying... Because I have complaints, but...
Well, yeah.
Nothing's very strong, shall we say.
Oh, no, it was really good. It was colorful.
Mm-hmm.
It was more colorful than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm.
But it would have had a very different tone, had a very different thing going on.
Yeah.
You could tell Taika Waititi's fingerprints just all over it. And that's a good thing, in a good way. In a very good way.
Visually, it went full Kirby. You know, like, Doctor Strange was, like, part of the way to full Ditko. Shh. How rude. It was part of the way to full Ditko. This has gone full Kirby. When we're talking about the costume design and the set design especially, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
It really did look like a world, like the world where the Grandmaster is, where Jeff Goldblum is. Like, it really did seem like it was right off of a... 1970s sci-fi paperback cover. That's the first thing I thought when you see like your first panoramic shot of the city. I'm like, wow, that's like, because I follow 70s sci-fi art on Twitter. It's exactly something that they tweet.
Yeah, and the film it's the closest the MCU has ever got to going full metal hurlant, heavy metal. Well, if I say heavy metal, then you think the music genre. I'm talking about the French comic / which was turned into the film that me and the Nostalgia Critic reviewed. It's in that vein. It's light and frothy, but it's in that vein. And you could tell from the trailers, and this is basically a Marvel movie seen through the lens of the 80s Flash Gordon.
I never thought about that. Because I've only seen that movie one time.
That was, Waititi said that's what they were going for. So much so, he said that if Freddie Mercury was alive, he would have asked Queen to do the soundtrack.
Aww.
Soundtrack is really good, by the way. There is a lot of synths in this. It's, one of the problems that Marvel has, although I don't find Marvel's soundtracks to be as non-hummable as a lot of people complain about on the internet.
Well, this soundtrack's just non-hummable.
Yeah, there's videos about why Marvel's soundtracks are crap because you can't hum them from memory.
That's terrible.
But I don't have that issue. But with this, the one issue I do have is they tend to sound a bit samey just overall. Mm-hmm. And this one has gone completely out of left field. It's fucking synthed up. Awesome.
And just everything is just great. And so if you don't want spoilers, just stop the film here with our glowing recommendation. Go on, see it. You want to. Anyway, as we were leaving the film, actually, a guy says to his friend, "Oh, we get Justice League in 2 weeks." And I actually had to, bite my tongue, to keep from automatically responding, "Yeah, but who gives a shit?" To, this random stranger.
See, that was what a good citizen would do. You would have saved them money.
Yeah, I'm going to punch them.
Of course, we're going to see Justice League, probably.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to see it and complain about it for a long time.
No, I will. I'll go with you.
Well, we won't see it the first time. We've literally gone to the first showing in the city, so...
Yeah.
So,
I thought it would be more populated, but...
So, lol at all you Americans. Ma ha ha ha.
Alright, should we go spoilers?
Yeah, let's go spoilers.
So, some great cameos in here. Fantastic cameos.
Yeah, just random, unexpected ones.
We're like, we won't say when, because this should be a surprise. We're like, holy, that's Matt Damon!
Matt Damon, Liam Hemsworth, and Sam Neill.
Just kind of turn up and you're like, okay.
They probably die off screen, they're not sure.
Yeah.
And then, the Warriors, they renamed the Warriors 3 into the Warriors 3 dozen pieces.
Mm.
You know, Fandral the Dead, Volstagg the Deader, and Hogan the Deadest.
Aye.
I was seriously upset. It's like, you got the Ray Stevenson back for literally 2 words and then killed him. And then Hela's the God of Death, she resurrects an army. Why didn't they have a bit where she resurrected the Warriors 3 to face off against their comrades?
Because they were too valiant.
That would have been so awesome.
Too valiant.
Fandral is actually my favourite of the Warriors 3, but I'm perfectly happy to see him die, because as far as I'm concerned, the Fandral that they had in Dark World and this is the crap Fandral. He's very greasy and sort of slimy looking. Oh no, that's Volstagg. Oh. The Fandral they had in the first Thor, I know he was actually second choice actor, but I think it's Josh Dallas maybe? I can't remember. But he was proper Fandral. Fandral is meant to be, what do you call him? 1950s Robin Hood guy.
Errol Flynn?
Errol Flynn crossed with Wesley from The Princess Bride. He's not meant to be a greasy-looking, scary, sort of Viking, blonde, goth-looking motherfucker like he was in Dark World and this.
We got to see Doctor Strange. It was really great. Like when they're standing in New York and all of a sudden you see like the little like teleportation sparks start up. And I was like... And then you got to hear like a bit of his theme and I was like... I just think he was just like not even bothered. He was like, get out of here. Stop ruining everything.
I am a little bit annoyed. I'm not... I like the Warriors 3. I'm going to obsess about this a little bit more. But we had 3 films with Hogan the Grim. And none of them did him right. Because Hogan, the Asian one, he's meant to be a Mongol.
He looked like a Mongol.
No, he's meant to be Mongol as in the full-on Genghis Khan beard and sort of wearing fur and stuff. And he doesn't have they haven't, with a Morning Star, he's meant to have a mace. It's like, why did you...
I thought he was a Mongol.
No, he's being done as generically Asian, but he's played by a Japanese actor, I think. But Hogan the Grim is a lot more distinctive looking in his style. The other ones, they've realisticized what they look like. Like Volstagg is literally the size of several couches. And they've made him just a little bit chubby. But with Hogan, they completely redesigned him. It bothers me.
I'm sorry.
But we did get Scourge and Scourge the Executioner. And they've perfectly adapted his look onto the screen.
Played by your man.
Played by, yes, from the Truth About Demons and Lord of the Rings and Dread. I've forgotten his name.
His last name's Urban.
Carl Urban,
yeah.
That's it. He doesn't have the axe on his chest, but everything else is perfect, and he gets a very truncated version of his actual arc in the comics, where he's like, oh no, I'm not 100% bad guy. I'm sort of a little bit good. I'm sort of working for this powerful sort of woman, and then I think better of it, and I sacrifice myself nobly to try and save people.
I liked her wolf. I wish I could have done with more.
Oh, giant fucking wolf action. Hulk suplexes Fenris Wolf, which is fucking like 5 times bigger than him. It's awesome.
Great. And I thought it would be like how I said, like how Guardians 2 was a little bit too zany. I think that was one of the points that I made. Like, there were some jokes that went on too long, just a little bit too wacky and zany. But I never felt that way with this. I felt it was... You know what it reminds me of a little bit? Of, like, the old black and white movies where everyone had really good punchy one-liners at each other, and it was just really witty dialogue. That's what it reminded me of.
But 80% of this was ad-libbed.
Fantastic.
Lines-wise. I mean, Iron Man was very heavily ad-libbed, but that was not as much as this. And this one... One of my issues is because of the way that it's been done with taking the basic script and then completely ad-libbing around it. Big chunks of what Thor's dialogue is doesn't sound like Thor. It sounds like Chris Hemsworth being funny, which he is. He's very funny. He was one of the few bright sparks in the in the Ghostbusters remake.
Yeah, it just looked like he was just like, I'm in this movie to have fun.
Yeah, and this one, so sometimes it did not feel character
appropriate.
Yeah, for Thor. I think I would have got behind it a bit more if Thor was the straight man and everyone else was being silly. That would felt a bit better.
That he's growing and changing and crap like that.
Yeah, but there's bits where he was funny and he was his own personality. There are other bits where he seemed to react way too much like a human being.
Fair enough. I liked the Valkyrie. She's my favorite.
I'm not sure if that was Brunhilde or not, though, because Tessa Thompson, I think, who plays the Valkyrie, she did an interview where she said basically Valkyrie's bisexual. She just flat out said it, because Valkyrie in the comics is bisexual. But since the Valkyrie are not just, there's not just a single Valkyrie, there is a lot of Valkyries, and she's just the last remaining Valkyrie. We don't know if it's actually Brunhilde, who was the leader of the Valkyrie. We don't know if that's her, because
she didn't look like the leader in the flashback.
Yeah, when you saw her survive, we saw her having this sort of like, oh no, reaction to one of her fellow Valkyrie getting killed.
Yeah.
And she was severely blonde, and she had hair like Brunhilde, the Valkyrie of the comics. So this character, who we don't get the name of, might actually be a different Valkyrie than Valkyrie in the comics. We might have seen the main Valkyrie of the comic books die, and I saw a little bit of, oh no, my girlfriend has died-ness in her performance there. But then again, I went into this knowing that
she'd said that.
She was meant to be bi,
Fair enough. I like the Rock guy.
Korg.
Yeah, he was great.
That's the second Korg, actually, in the Thor movies, because the Rock guy, the Cronin who got killed at the start of the Dark World, he didn't have any lines, he just turned up and got killed by Thor. He was originally meant to be Korg the Stone Man, I think it was. He was like a very minor character. And then they're like, no, we'll just retcon it, make this guy Korg.
I thought he was great. That was fantastic. I want to go walk around talking like a New Zealander for the rest of my life. But yeah, so, I mean, the CGI was pretty good. There weren't too many uncanny valleys. Hulk a bit. A
little bit. And
yeah.
There's some shots where they clearly filmed it on a green screen and it didn't quite look quite good. Like there's a bit later on where Korg and all talk to Loki near the end, and it looks to me like it was originally filmed on a set, and then they filmed a reshoot with Tom Hiddleston on green screen, and they integrated him into the shot not quite brilliantly, but I could be wrong about that. And there's very clearly reshoots near the start, because in the original trailer, obviously, Mjolnir gets crushed in the city, and there were set photographs very early on showing Anthony Hopkins being crazy homeless Odin in New York City. So I get the feeling what happened was they decided that Loki basically leaving Odin crazy and homeless in New York City would be too much of a nasty thing, and so because Loki is sort of good by the end of it.
Kind of-ish.
And I get the feeling that they probably figured that was too much of a nasty thing for him to do in this film in order for him to end up sort of good by the end. So that's why they rejigged that whole thing. That's why in the later trailers it's in a green background. Because Odin escaped from Loki's thrall and he travelled over to Norway because he stayed there.
I have a feeling he got Doctor Strange's help with that.
Possibly. But that's why it's basically looking over the sea at Norway. That's where they are.
Norway. But yeah, I mean, it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to think other stuff.
Loki was a bit shit at pretending to be Odin at the start of this. It took me a little bit out of it that
he kind of was, yeah.
Loki would be okay. Have the statue, put on the play. But he wouldn't be quite so obvious. He's a better actor than that.
Yeah, but he wasn't expecting Thor.
Yeah, but still, he'd be a better actor at it than that. He's done all these illusions for a long time and everything. He's practiced.
That's true.
So it's that sort of thing that took me a little bit out of it. It's not so much an action-adventure superhero thing with comedy bits in many ways. It's a comedy with all those other bits added to it.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
The balance is a little bit off from most Marvel films.
And how much you want to reckon, again, spoilers, he's got the Tesseract now. Because you saw him walk by and be like, oh, I don't have that.
we're gonna have to. Well, we'll find out what happens because Thanos is going to get the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So he's going to do something there. Maybe the very start of Infinity War will be him going through and finding it.
Because Doctor Strange has the Soul Gem.
Yeah.
Which one's left?
No, he's got the Time Gem.
Time Gem.
It's in the Eye of Agamotto. There's the Power one is in the Ether, which was from the Dark World. The Power is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Space is the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
The Ether is... I don't know what the Ether is. It's one of them. The Reality Gem, maybe? And the Mind Gem is on Vision.
Okay.
So the one we're missing is the Soul Gem, which is orange. And since it's orange, and because Heimdall can see fucking everything, all the souls, he's fucking...
You think he's a... Yeah.
He's got it.
And if he's with everybody, and Loki has the Tesseract,
Yeah.
then all he'll need is Vision.
Oh, they need to get the green one from the Time Gem from Doctor Strange.
That's true. So basically, all of the Infinity Gems are on their way to Earth in one way. The ones who aren't there already.
Unless the Tesseract was left on Asgard. Plus, there's one in Xandar, the Guardians of the Galaxy one, that was left with the Nova Corps.
Oh, that's right.
But I get the feeling, in the first half of Infinity War, we're going to see at least a couple of deaths. Can't fucking wait.
I'll be sad.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I like.
Heimdall and Vision are probably going down.
I don't care about Vision. I like Heimdall. I was so depressed that this didn't happen, although it would have been really stupid and cheesy if it did, that I really wanted Idris Elba to say, "Tonight we are cancelling Ragnarok." I'm sorry, that was just the best line in Pacific Rim.
Let's Ragnarok'n'Roll.
That's even worse. We are cancelling Ragnarok. I love him. He's just great in everything Idris Elba is.
He's actually said that he's done several interviews where he's like he regrets taking the role of Heimdall because he took that role and it was a small part.
I didn't know it would become a big thing.
And then he became a much bigger actor afterwards. He got like an Oscar nomination and stuff for playing Mandela, which he did. Right, he played Mandela like between Dark World and coming back for reshoots for Dark World, and he's just like, why the fuck am I doing this?
I'm a serious actor now.
Oh, why am I doing this? He even did an interview for Ragnarok saying this is the first time he enjoyed doing a Thor movie.
Aww.
I get the feeling he really regrets taking the role and wishes he could have got a better role in the MCU.
Let's see, what else? What's her face was okay as Hela.
Oh, the Hela was awesome. She was hella yeah.
She just felt very like stereotypical.
She was awesome. The one thing I wasn't too fond of was her fucking glorious helm wasn't...
Yeah, she was like, hold on, let me just mousse my hair up.
No, I like that. I like because she's always meant to have the spikes.
Yeah, but why doesn't she have it all the time though?
Well, she should. But when she does have it, you can clearly see that bits where with her skin and everything, like it's mask, like Captain America's mask. When it's been a little bit since I've seen a picture of Hela from the comic, but I think that it's the bit between regular skin and the spikes is a little bit less clear cut in the comics. And I thought that would have been a better way to go with it rather than it looking like you could peel off her helmet.
No, okay. I liked your man, the fire guy.
Fire guy?
The fire guy with the helm. Who ruined everything at the end. The guy who was made of fire.
Literally, Surtur.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. No, you're not. And then and spoilers at the end. Here's me fucking your shit up. I told you.
Yeah, Surtur's awesome.
Sorry.
It took me a little bit to recognize who was voicing him.
Who was it? Because this is familiar to me.
That's Clancy Brown, aka the Kurgan from Highlander, aka the Superman the Animated Series Lex Luthor.
I'm sure he's done other voice acting.
Yes, he has, and he's done a lot of race roles. He is like one of the 80s tough guy villain actors.
Okay. So that's probably where I know him from.
Yeah.
Took me a second when I was like, wait, who's that? Oh, then it's Sam Neill. I knew they looked familiar to me, but he was dressed as Odin. So.
I didn't even recognize that was Sam Neill until the very end credits. I mean, I recognized Matt Damon immediately, but the other two I didn't. And I kind of wish that... Oh, yeah, we
didn't say what they were doing.
Okay, good. I kind of wish that instead of Sam Neill, they'd got, like, Ben Affleck or or Patrick Stewart or
Ben
something.
Affleck's busy not doing anything with Batman.
Although Sam Neill, I feel that him being cast in that bit is basically an Easter egg because Taika Waititi is from New Zealand.
He should just get to do all the things. Just give him all the money. Hey, has the werewolf one, Werewolves, has that started shooting yet?
I have no idea.
I can't wait to see that.
There's Comicella.
Okay.
And so you see it's a little bit weirder looking than the domino mask-ish thing that she had in the film.
Okay, fair enough. Also, by the way, if you haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, I know we talk about it like pretty regularly. Go get it on DVD. It's fantastic.
It is brilliant. Sorry, Omega's sort of getting over a cold. If you go into this thinking that, Jermaine Clement will probably turn up, unfortunately he does not. Jermaine, I have got an infinite amount of fucking silly voices. Clement is not there. Very sad.
This is such a good movie. We should watch it again. I think we've got it on DVD somewhere.
I have a copy on DVD. I think you do as well.
Yeah. No, but you really should. No, but like it's amazing, and just there's so much little stuff. Like there's a part where he's on the what's the planet? I remembered it before.
Sakaar.
Yeah, Sakaar, and he's being like now you're on Sakaar. You're going to be a gladiator.
Oh yeah.
And then there's Pure Imagination.
Yeah, I
playing
laughed
in the background, and like I knew it was familiar. Then I realized what it was from.
I laughed about 10 seconds before you realized because I worked it out. It looks like the he's on the chair.
Like on the boat ride from.
It's the boat ride from thing. It's like a sci-fi crazy version
Willy
of that.
Wonka and.
Yeah, like Thor's on this chair, getting this sort of Starship Earth from Epcot sort of narration about what's going to happen to her.
No one wanted you before, but now you're on Sakaar. You're free. Everyone loves you. And he's just like, what? And that was great. The thing about the colors in the ship. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, the Waititi put a nice little Easter egg in there. There's a ship that they borrow, which has been deliberately coloured with the flag, the Aboriginal flag colours, Aboriginal Australian flag colour. I think there's another New Zealand equivalent for Maori, and I think another ship was coloured those colours.
Yeah, because apparently, I don't know if it was the Mary Sue or someone on Twitter was tweeting about it that like from day one he was like, we are all inclusive on my set, Indigenous peoples forever, yo.
Yeah,
that's great. I think Hollywood should just throw money at him and let him do all his stuff that he wants to do. Like I haven't seen that indie movie he did, Flight of the Wilder People, or Search for the Wilder People or something. But apparently it's like critically acclaimed and it's brilliant. So
have you seen his Eagle versus Shark? Well, that's another one he did, which I've seen.
No, the only thing I've seen by him so far is What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
I can't wait for the werewolf one. It's gonna be so great.
I really want there to be some sort of a directors meet-up where they can hobnob and everything, and Waititi can laugh at Martin Campbell, who directed him in Green Lantern. We can be like, now that's how you do a CGI heavy sort of, movie, Martin Campbell. And Martin Campbell's like, well, shut up. I just directed Jackie Chan punching Pierce Brosnan in the face, and I did Goldeneye, okay? I don't need CGI.
So trailer-wise, for some reason, we got The Last Jedi twice in a row.
Yeah.
We got...
if you got the rights to The Last Jedi, you use them.
We got Justice League. And what did you say? Like, apparently, was it Green Arrow turns up?
I said allegedly Green Lantern turns up, but they've kept any information about Green Lantern. It's currently just rumor.
Again, I couldn't bet my tongue fast. Who the fuck cares? Like, I do. I like Green Arrow.
I didn't say that. I said some other people do. Some people would quite like to see Green Lantern appear on film in a film that's not utterly terrible.
This is going to be utterly terrible. Film Brain says it's under 2 hours.
It will be utterly terrible, so those poor Green Lantern fans. But
it is so bad. Like, here's the thing. It's like, I don't know how much harder, everyone can scream at Warner Brothers and DC. Everything you do is rubbish, but give us more Wonder Woman.
The really weird thing is, according to the rumor, Armie Hammer is playing Green Lantern.
Who was that?
Armie Hammer was the Lone Ranger. He was the Prince in Murmur.
Mm.
But he, if I remember...
no offense to you, sir. I'm sure you're great,
If I remember right...
I didn't like Lone Ranger.
No, neither did I, because we have brains.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Armie Hammer was cast in the Justice League movie that didn't happen in like 2006, which was by, what do you call him? Oh, for fuck's sake, my mind is going terrible with names. Mad Max director. He actually...
George Miller?
Yes.
I knew a name this time!
He had it scripted, he had it financed, he had the actors, they were in rehearsals, they were literally days from starting filming when basically there was I think it was part of the financial collapse happened, and basically the money they had was devalued, and so that they couldn't start. Like, who would not want to see a Justice League film by the director of fucking Mad Max?
That'd be really great, because then maybe Batman would get his lower jaw ripped off, just like Immortan Joe.
Immortan Joe was playing Martian Manhunter in that one. The naked woman from Fury Road, who was sort of the
bait.
The bait, yeah, she was Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, so close.
But yeah, that was it was really good. I mean, this is now I think my number 2 Marvel film after Doctor Strange.
This is
kind of like, you know, makes you want to get the soundtrack kind of thing going on.
Oh, the soundtrack was awesome. So much synth. And I'm not putting it up as high as number 2. It was a lot of fun. The balance between comedy and action and stuff might grow on me, but right now it just feels a little bit off to me because it is primarily a comedy. And mixing it especially with the story of Ragnarok, it's a weird choice. I'm all behind.
Makes me want to know how dark it was at the beginning that they told him to lighten the tone a bit.
Yeah, I'm all behind giving Taika Waititi huge budgets, let him do silly things. I think that's wonderful. I just kind of wish it hadn't been married with the destruction of, spoilers, the destruction of Asgard and the killing of a lot of characters, including like the 3/4 of Thor's, Asgardian retinue.
Well, Odin died of natural causes.
Sorry, 4/5 of Thor's Asgardian retinue.
Where's his mum?
She died in Dark World.
Oh, that's right.
Lady Sif is the one surviving Asgardian one who hangs around with Thor and did not die because she didn't turn up in the film.
I liked how, like, when he selfies with those 2 girls, like, oh, I heard so-and-so dumped you. He's like, no, shut up.
I did not get that, but because Thor is recognized as being Thor in the middle of New York City, just hanging out with Loki, who's dressed... Neither of them are dressed like Thor or Loki. So
what if he was actually misrecognized as Liam Hemsworth?
That would be pretty funny. But I don't understand why they didn't have them in costume for that. Like, why would Thor dress up as a human, and then, he wouldn't give a shit, and then you've got the thing of people recognizing him. Why not just have him in costume? It's so much simpler.
I don't know.
I think they wanted the joke of Thor's hammer is disguised as an umbrella.
I thought that was really funny. I thought him being in the sanctum, and breaking things.
He doesn't like jumping by, traveling by jump cut.
And breaking everything, and just at the end, Doctor Strange is like, get out of my sanctum. Loki's like, oh, let me tell you. He's like, no, enough of you. I thought that was great.
But we think for a moment about if we went back 10 years to tell someone that in 10 years you would be getting a 3rd Thor movie that was essentially a free-form comedy by an eccentric New Zealand actor who was in Green Lantern. And it's going to have the soundtrack, like, screams 80s, and it was going to have the Hulk and Thor sort of, going from alien planet to, like, these random things. Imagine telling someone this 10 years ago, before Iron Man came out. They'd think you were fucking nuts. So everything in the world is going to shit right now, except for the Marvel movies. That's just getting more and more glorious.
I would make specific investments.
Well,
like in companies like Uber.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things you can say about that. You could also put some money down for Obama winning the election. But you could put money down for Trump winning in 2016.
No, are you kidding me? I'd do everything in my power to change the future.
You wouldn't be able to, probably. But just think about how long the odds would be in 2008 of that.
That's true.
But yeah, the Marvel... It struck me through this one. Marvel is no longer just the most financially successful franchise, probably in history, media franchise. I think it's getting up there the most important, in the way that it's fucking changing how things are made.
Do you know what this means?
And it's the best, I think.
15, 20 years from now, the entire Marvel Criterion collection.
There will be something like that, and the MCU will be studied as a long-form I don't want to say episodic filmmaking, because it's not episodic. It's more like a spider web where you're getting these various things with connections, where you have to, in order to get the full picture, you need to see everything, but you don't need to see everything to get most of the picture. It's going to be studied in media studies.
It's just so weird because, like, they have money. DC and Warner Brothers have money, too. But it's like they use their money to get the best, but DC doesn't. I don't understand why.
DC is not in charge of the films.
Warner Brothers is.
Warner Brothers is. Basically, Warner Brothers is like, we own these characters, throw them at filmmakers, make them good. While Marvel is like, because they started off with Marvel Studios and they with Kevin Feige, and they're like, Kevin Feige, they're one of the boss producer guys, he knows the comics, and so they got a guy who knows comics and film. While Warner Brothers just
doesn't care. They see it as something that will pump out money.
Yeah, they don't have a Kevin Feige to sort of corral them into doing it right.
That's sad.
Plus, you got Warner Brothers. Well, DC, for ages they've been farming out their characters' TV rights somewhere else. So, like, they couldn't set up an MCU type thing, and not the full MCU. They couldn't do the TV and film things that MCU has. Even though the TV version is still run by Ike Perlmutter, who was the other.
He's a bad guy.
He is a very bad guy, but he's in charge of the TV Marvel. I think he's in charge of the comics as well. But him and Feige sort of fight, and Disney's just like, you know, they kicked Perlmutter out of the filmmaking part and left just Feige. But that's partly why the films and the TV don't tend to interact very much right now.
Yeah, because like most of the stuff that happens, it's like not important enough for the Avengers. That was the best part of Ant-Man. Do you know what this means? Yeah, it means you need to call the Avengers. No, we're the heroes this time. Shut up.
Oh man, next year we are getting Black fucking Panther.
I'm excited.
Ant-Man 2 and Infinity War Part 1.
We saw a terrible, terrible DVD in Tesco and I was scared. She's like, look, let's buy this. And I was like, no.
Wasp-nado.
Oh, can you imagine anything worse? If I have wasp dreams tonight, it's your fault.
I'm buying it.
I'm going to wake you up.
I'm going to watch this film.
No, I don't want to.
I'm not making you watch it. I'll watch it.
I don't want it in the house.
Well, it might buzz and attack you?
Yes. A wasp will come and sit on it, thinking it's its home.
And go into your veins?
Yeah, no. Okay, at MagFest several years ago, I ended up with a very bad flu. And they all went out, and I said, look, I'm not feeling well. I'm just going to, because it was the night before the con actually started, I'm just going to sit and watch Mythbusters on my tablet. And I became delirious. And by the time she got back, I had a dream. I had a bad dream that I actually ended up representing as fact. And I thought that there were wasps that were trying to come in. And this was in January, by the way. This was in, like, snowing winter. The wasps were trying to come in through the windows, and then that they wanted to get under the covers to go into my veins. And I represented this to you as fact. I remember that
You yelled at me quite a bit.
I didn't yell at you.
You were very angry at me for not stopping the wasps.
No, I was angry at you because I was cold and I wanted you to get into bed because I was freezing. Actually, like, I had a very high fever.
This was the year we filmed God of Vampires and I Love Dr. Moreau.
Oh my god, there was so much filming that year.
Yeah. Anyway, we are almost
at
the time. Meet the Skull Girl was the same year as Zombie. This was Poultrygeist, God of Vampires, and Dr. Moreau, the second year.
We should watch Poultrygeist.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry, yes, Thor, Ragnarok. It was quite good. You don't need us to, for stuff like this, you don't need us to say, go see it, you'll enjoy it, because you know you will. But, yeah. I mean, we enjoyed it, and those are our thoughts on the matter, so... Yeah. Watch this after you watch it, and then comment below, and be like, let me tell you what about Carl Urban.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Bye.